Welcome back, everyone. So today we're diving deep into something pretty powerful, pretty fundamental
Yeah.
mindset, right? We've
Yeah.
got this piece here, and
It's a good one.
it's a good one. Seems like whoever sent this in is ready to make some changes or at least explore the idea of mindset a little bit. So
Yeah.
ready to unlock that potential.
Totally.
So why don't we jump right in,
Let's do it.
see what this is all about?
Yeah.
So right off the bat, this piece comes out strong. It says, your mindset shapes your reality, which is
That's a powerful statement.
yeah, it really is. It makes you think, right? Like
Mm.
how much of what we experience is actually influenced by, what's going on in our heads.
Right. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way.
Totally. I remember this one time I was convinced I was going to fail my driving test. I mean, just totally convinced. And guess what?
You failed it.
I absolutely bombed it. I mean, I let those negative thoughts take over and they totally sabotaged me. Have you ever had like a similar experience where you felt like your own thoughts were kind of holding you back?
Oh, yeah. All the time. I mean, I think we all have those moments where we get stuck in our own heads.
Yeah.
This piece actually talks about that. It calls them limiting beliefs,
Okay.
which I think is such an interesting term because it's not just like thinking negatively. It's like accepting those negative thoughts as absolute truth, you know?
Yeah.
Like if someone believes they're bad with numbers, they might avoid anything related to finance, even if it could benefit them.
Right.
Or if someone thinks they're not creative,
Right.
they might not even try to pursue any creative endeavors.
It's like those beliefs become these invisible barriers
Exact.
that stop us from even trying.
Yeah, and the tricky thing is,
How do we even...
it can be so ingrained, it's hard to know where to start sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. So how do we begin to sort of identify those beliefs? Where do we even start?
Well, one technique I found helpful is to just ask yourself, what's one belief that's been holding me back, but I haven't really questioned?
Okay.
It could be about your abilities, your relationships, anything. But once you pinpoint it, then you can start to challenge its validity.
I love that. It's like putting those beliefs on trial.
Yeah.
We don't have to just accept them blindly.
Exactly.
So speaking of challenging ourselves, there's another point this piece brings up that I think ties in really well, and that's the whole idea of embracing failures as lessons.
Oh.
Now, I'm curious, what's one failure that you've actually learned the most from? Like something that really stands out in your mind?
Oh, there are so many to choose from.
Right.
But one that really sticks out is when I launched my first online course. I mean, poured my heart and soul into it, spent months creating the content, getting everything ready, and then it totally flopped. Like, hardly anyone signed up. It was a huge blow to my ego, I'm not going to lie. But instead of giving up, I decided to analyze what went wrong. I took a step back and really looked at the feedback, adjusted my approach, and guess what?
What?
My next launch was a success.
That's awesome. You turn that failure into fuel.
You gotta.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got.
And that's what this piece is calling a growth mindset, right?
Yeah.
Like instead of seeing setbacks as defeats, we view them as opportunities to learn and grow.
Exactly. And it reminds me of, that famous story of Thomas Edison and the light bulb.
Yeah.
It said he didn't fail 10,000 times.
Right.
He found 10,000 ways that didn't work.
I love that.
And he kept experimenting, kept refining his approach until he achieved his goal. That's the power of a growth mindset.
I think that's such a great example. And it actually connects perfectly with another point this piece makes, which is confidence isn't born, it's built through small wins. I love that line because sometimes, we get so focused on the big picture.
The end goal.
Yeah, the end goal, exactly. That we forget to celebrate those little victories along the way, those little wins that, help us build momentum. So I'm curious, what's one small win that's boosted your confidence lately?
It might sound silly, but recently I finally organized my desk.
Okay.
It was a disaster.
Right.
Like papers everywhere, just clutter galore.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally took an afternoon and just, went through everything, organized it, put things in their place. And it was amazing. Like just that feeling of accomplishment, seeing everything in its place. It gave me a little boost of confidence and motivation to tackle other tasks.
It's amazing how these small things can have such a big impact. Yeah. And the piece even talks about the science behind it, like how each small win triggers a hit of dopamine.
The feel-good chemical.
Exactly. It's like our brain is giving us a little reward.
Right.
Like, hey, you're doing great. Keep it up.
Yeah, like building momentum. Each small win gives you the energy and the belief to tackle bigger challenges.
Yeah, it's like training for a marathon, right? You don't start by running 26 miles.
Exactly.
You build up your endurance gradually,
Yeah.
celebrating each milestone along the way. And, speaking of milestones, this piece ends with a really powerful call to action. It says, every day is a chance to.
Fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank, exactly. So my question to you and to everyone listening is, what is one small action you can take today
Today.
to shift your mindset? It could be as simple as replacing a negative thought with a positive one, or taking 5 minutes to visualize your goals, anything.
I love that. What if we all committed to, practicing gratitude for just 5 minutes today?
Oh, yeah.
Just reflect on the things we're thankful for, big or small. It's amazing how just shifting our focus to the positive can impact our entire outlook.
Absolutely. So let's recap, right? We've talked about identifying and challenging those sneaky limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about embracing failures as learning experiences.
Yeah.
And we've talked about building confidence through those small but mighty wins. And most importantly, taking consistent action to cultivate a growth mindset.
And I think it all comes back to that final thought from the piece, right? It says, your future is shaped by the mindset you choose today. Start now. It's a call to action.
Totally.
So I would ask everyone listening, what's one limiting belief you want to challenge? And what's one tiny step you can take right now to start shifting that belief?
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the power of those small steps.
It's so true. This is just the beginning, Keep exploring, keep learning, keep pushing those boundaries. What resonated with you the most today, keep that in mind as you go forward. You have the power to shape your reality. That's the beauty of it.
Until next time, everyone.
See you next time.